Lock means you are completely trying to refrain someone to get access of this. Okay, or even if you are trying to give access, you are trying to refrain some of the operation cannot be done. Maybe, for example, one user cannot access a resource, right? That means it will be completely hidden, or only can access for only reading access, right? So that means you are locking all other benefits for that particular resource, right? So okay, let's, for example, in office there are multiple rooms, right? Multiple rooms. One room is completely locked. Which one? Maybe your electricity chamber, right? Because that is always dangerous. You can, everyone is prohibited to get into that particular area, that particular room, right? That means you cannot even access into that, though you are able to see, like, okay, this is the room for electricity, electricity chamber. However, you cannot access into that, right? And some of the rooms you can get into that and do it, right? Do anything, whatever, you take a meeting and you can sit over there and work, all these things you can able to do those, right? But you are not permitted to change the structure of the room, right? You can use that, but you cannot change the structure of the room. You cannot just remove the door and just keep it open, right? So those kind of scenarios you can just analogy could be you can identify. So especially these locks are mostly helps in case of accidental delete or removal of any resource, right? As for example, you have created one resource and one new comer came into the system, and he or she doesn't know how to deal with those resources and somehow deleted the resource. That always risk, right? So to make sure people has a right access, so better off administrator can lock that particular resource. What kind of lock it can be? It can be two types of lock. One is delete lock, another is read-only lock. Right? So now, if there is a delete lock applied one of the resource, let's for example, you have created a storage account, right? Storage blob. Let's for example this, or maybe storage account, right? So in this case, what will happen if administrator applied a delete lock? All other user, what can they do? They can read, they can update anything in the storage account, but cannot delete that, right? So if a read lock applied, users can only read that particular resource, right? That means they can only see what are the blobs are available, what are the containers are available, and what are the other resources are available under this storage account, but they cannot override that or they cannot delete that, right? So that's how it will be, correct? So if you see one of the thing, like you can same lock strategy you can apply for a group of user or maybe a single user, or maybe it's also applied to a top level, the subscription level. Even if you have access to the subscription, right? Let's for example, the other day we have created one user called AG900, right? AG900 Smart Techie, for example, right? This was one user, right? This user able to access the subscription, that was Azure subscription one, something like that, right? But still, though this particular user has access to that particular subscription, still this user cannot delete this particular resource, the storage account we have created, if that delete lock is applied, But if read-only lock is applied, then no one can do any operation on that, only the read operation, right? So that's how it is. So if you see, if we'll go back to this one, and let's go back to our storage one, right, that we have created. I didn't delete that, I have been working some of the things. So let's go to the storage we have created. This is the storage one, right? See, this is the storage one I have created. Or I can create one more storage to showcase you. But here, so this is the storage. It is like, so now if you want to lock this particular account, right, storage account, directly go to the lock. There is a locks option, right, in the Explorer, the Resource Explorer, right? Do we have any lock here? No, like, so now what you can do, so you can go add and give the lock name, right? STG Smarty Key, for example, read lock. I'm just giving this name, right? What I'm selecting, read only. I can also select delete, but I'm just first, using read only, right? In this case, I'm just giving some maybe some description for this, like read only access for read only lock for storage. Okay, it's created. So this one is the lock is applied, right? What lock applied? The read lock is applied. Now let's see, we'll go back and see, like, try to see whatever the containers available. Okay, I can able to see that, right? And I can able to see those whatever the things available. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll try to go back to the user we had, right? So this user I have already deactivated. Let me activate that user. I'll show you how user, right? Because even if someone someone got those username password for that user, so he or she cannot able to log into my original the master account if I am just disabling those. So let's go to the users, all users. I'll just check this guy and see, like, what is the status of this, and this status is disabled, right? I'll try to edit it and enable it to access that, right? So enable account and save it, and this user is activated, right? I disable. Let's, for example, you have created one user and there is one employee for your new team, and you are the administrator. You have created one user for him or her, right? So what you'll do, you'll enable that. Let's, for example, he just maybe you got a resignation letter, so immediately you can apply disable. You'll just disable that that user right away. After that, you can always delete that, right? For deleting, you might need to do some some other sanity check or something like that, so before deleting that. So immediately you can disable this, right? So now I'm enabling this again. So I'm going back to that particular user, and let's see, I'll try to refresh one. So it will try to log in again and get into that system. No, so both are logging with the so they don't, right? So let me log in with a different user, right? Logiscope, right? So this guy, and I'll put the what was the password? Let me see. Right, so the password I have given is I'm holding already in somewhere in the store. Good that I didn't delete that. Okay, so now I have to give the approval. So I got a notification in my phone because we have set up that multi-factor authentication. And I'm going to put it 3 sets. Okay. fantastic, approve, right? So now it's going there, and let's, for example, I'm just saving this for now. Now if we go and see the storage account, we able to see the storage account, right? We have already provided the access to this particular user in our previous class, right? When we are talking about the providing the access control to the user, right? So now let's go and check like if we can able to see those blobs. Yes, we are able to, right? We are able to. So now let's try to delete this guy. Okay, delete this particular blob file. Okay, are you sure to delete it? Also delete the blob snapshot. You want to, you can delete it, or you can leave it as is. Try to delete it. We are able to successfully deleted this, right? So now let's try to delete the previous one as well, the blob itself, right? And apply the delete. Okay, so attempt override of delete lock, confirm delete. You cannot delete this, right? What we have done is we are able to load that file. So that file loaded by whom? The one we have deleted. Let's go back a little bit, back. Okay, back, and show the deleted file. Which one we have deleted now? We have deleted this one, but we have deleted the file, right? This is the blob. So now if you see, we have deleted that file because that file we have uploaded through this particular user. So now this particular user can delete its own, right? But he or she cannot delete the blob itself because blob is created by the administrator, right? So now if you are trying to delete that blob, so what did you get? So you got the error, like you cannot just delete it, right? So try to delete it again. So delete it, confirm delete. Fail to delete 1 out of 1 container because the subscription itself is locked, right? It's remove lock. Please remove the lock and try again, right? It's already saying like this is already lock is applied, you cannot do anything. So that's how you can protect your resource, right? You cannot just delete like that. No, before that you have to ask for the administrator to remove that lock if that is an intentional delete. So if you are accidentally trying to delete it, but that is the better way to protect the resource, right? So that's how it is. It applies to any kind of resource you are going to build it, right? So that's how it is. And let's go back to our original one, and we can check with the other one like storage, and we'll try to. So we saw like what we saw here, when we put a read only, it cannot do anything apart from reading, right? We couldn't also delete that. If we are able to delete it, right, we cannot add, we can update read, but we cannot delete it, right? That's how it is. Let's try something like that in our main operation. And okay, before changing that, right, we'll check something. We put read only, right? Let's try to create one container here. Okay, AG 900s. No, AG 900s. That's a blob. Okay, this is the my blob is coming from the administrator, and this blob is I am creating as a user, pretending like I am a AG900 user, right? So now this is, I can put it access control whatever, just I'll put it all this default and try to create it. What happened? Failed to create storage container. Why? Because this is a lock, right? We have the read lock. That read lock means That's what it is, right? Read lock means you can only read, but you can add anything or alter anything to that particular account. Neither you delete. You can delete that, right? And we check both of the cases. It's passive, right? So now we'll go with the delete lock and see like how it works. Let's go back to the master account, and we'll go for the logs. And in the logs, storage modified. So in the logs, we'll try to apply one more lock called read lock, delete lock. Delete lock, right? So we are applying the delete lock, and we'll put the delete here. Here is the delete lock. So it's always really a good idea to put some notes, some description while you are creating that. Any description, what is the why you are creating that? Okay, that is a really good idea for a long run. Okay, so we are applying this, right? And then we'll see like what locks we can. We can just verify that, right? So let's go back and let's again try to create it. Create again. Go over. Yes, just going to the containers, right? Yes. So we'll just try to create one. AG900 Bob, and we'll just try to. This is whatever we are creating, and try to create it. Okay, so this one blob, like I remove the lock. Okay, we didn't remove the read lock, right? What are the logs? Access controls, all the logs available. Why it's not listing out the logs? Okay, so we need to remove the read log first, right? Otherwise it's overwriting. Read log, delete log means it's nothing but the read log, right? So let's remove the read log here, and we'll check. We are trying to test the delete log, right? So only apply the delete log here, right? Only you have delete log now. So let's go back and try to create that here, right? And go again. Let's refresh this guy. Go again and AG blob, and then we'll just do whatever we want and try to create it. Amazing, right? So we are able to create this blob, another blob. Why? Because we have the right access. As I said, like log type delete has the update access, right? You can read and update. Let's try to delete the same what we have created now, right? Oops, see what happened. Even though you have created that after the lock, right? And you have created that, you are not able to delete that. That's how the beauty of the lock. Create as much as you want to create now, create. But only the people can delete is the administrator, right? And administrator also cannot delete that because it's already locked. Let's go and try it as an administrator. I'm the administrator, right? Here. So when the lock is there, I'm still putting the lock, right? And I'm trying to delete that blob. Let's see. No one can touch that ideally. Touch that in the sense like cannot do the delete operation at this point until unless the lock is there. The only the time you can really delete that is unlock that, delete it, and again lock it, right? So that's how we can do those. So that's why there are different ways to really govern your or manage your resources and protect the resources from the accidental manipulations, right? So those are the things you can really control your resources. right? So I didn't delete that particular user because I wanted to show these things, like how even if the administrator or even a regular user, how it's, how it's really applies the log for across the account, okay, across the account. So that's what it is. And so these are the, this is the beauty of the resource log. You can really go with that. And we already, I've already walked you through how can we, how we have created a resource. I didn't create the resource, as we know, like how to create a, how to create a storage resource, right? We've already created that, and we have applied the read only lock, and we also checking from the, and general user, if it's able to delete or override it, not able to, right? And we also updated the lock and deleted the read lock and applied the delete lock, and we'll try to delete the resource. And we did everything whatever we saw here. Okay, then thank you so much.